You were handed a comforting lie the day you learned to want more. Work hard enough, chase success long enough, and the rest of your life will arrange itself. Your health will wait, your hours will stretch, your money will follow. A beautiful lie. And while you believed it, it was quietly taking everything you have. Look at your hands. They have been busy for years, busy with tasks that fed everyone except the man doing them. Busy with what? You wake, you scroll, you rush, you obey, you collapse. You call it ambition. It is only motion that goes nowhere, a wheel spinning fast enough to feel like real progress. Right now, as you breathe, your hours are leaking out of you. The day you are living was never truly yours. Look closely and you will see another man's fingerprints on every hour. Someone else scheduled it. Someone else profits from it. And you were taught to call that arrangement normal. And you thank them for the privilege of being used, mistaking your own exhaustion for proof of your worth. You think the problem is that you are not trying hard enough. The real problem is everything you refuse to put down, every weight you still carry because someone called it loyalty. You carry habits that devour your time, small and familiar, each one feeding on hours you will never see again. Comforts that quietly drain your wealth, dressed up as rewards you told yourself you had somehow earned. Loyalties that cost you your health and give nothing back, paid for in sleep, in calm, in years you cannot reclaim, and a hunger to be liked that has made you easy to use. Powerful men were never the ones who simply added more. They were the ones ruthless enough to take things away. They subtracted. Quietly, without announcement. They removed what weakened them and told the world nothing of it. Without asking permission from anyone, and without waiting for the world to approve of the man they were becoming. You have been adding for years, adding noise, adding masters, adding chains. Every chain felt like progress. Not one of them was yours. They were forged by others and fastened with your consent. So forget what they told you about climbing higher. The ladder they handed you was always leaning on their wall. The climb was never the answer. The cutting away is. What you remove will lift you higher than what you chase. 10 things stand between you and the man you were meant to be. 10 quiet thieves of your time, your wealth, your habits, your health. You will not fight them loudly. That is what they expect. You will simply withdraw the thing they were feeding on. You will eliminate them in silence, one by one, until nothing remains that another hand installed in you. Tonight, you begin to subtract, and you tell no one. The quietest revolutions are the only ones that ever succeed, because the man who removes the right things becomes impossible to control. First, hear this clearly. The exhaustion you feel is real. It is not weakness, and it was never your invention. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You have been bled slowly. You did everything they asked. You stayed kind, available, agreeable. And they mistook your kindness for permission. And the more open you were, the more they took, until openness itself became the wound they fed on. That is the trap no one warned you about, because the people around you were the ones who set it. The world does not punish the cruel. It punishes the available, the open, the endlessly willing. It punishes the kind. Your openness was never a virtue to them. It was an opening. Every hour you gave away taught them you would give more, until your generosity quietly hardened into their expectation. Every comfort you indulged taught your own body to surrender, to expect less, to call slow decline a kind of peace. This is not about willpower. It is about control and who holds it. Right now, other people control your time. Your calendar belongs to them. They control your wealth, because comfort keeps you spending in quiet, too soothed to notice the cage closing around you. They shape your habits, because a predictable man is an easy man. And they ignore your health, because your collapse is none of their concern. You were taught to chase success while standing on rotting ground, reaching upward as the floor dissolved beneath your feet. Master the ground first. Time, wealth, habits, health. Then chase anything. Because a man on solid rock never falls far. The men who exploit you need you blind to this. Stay blind, and you stay useful. But the blindfold is loosening, isn't it? You feel it now, that cold clarity creeping in where comfort used to sit. Once a man sees the strings, he can never unsee them. And a man who sees the strings can learn to cut them. And the moment you see them, you can begin to cut, one quiet severance at a time, until you move on your own. Do not blame yourself for being trapped. You were never given the map. They kept the map. They sold you the journey. And they made sure you paid for every mile in your own time. But this video is the map. And it costs you nothing but your illusions. Understand, the enemy is not a person. It is a pattern you keep repeating. Break the pattern, and the people who fed on it lose their grip. They will not understand the new silence in you, and their confusion is the first proof that it is working. They will call it cold. They will call it a change they do not like. Let them. Their comfort was built on your compliance, and you were never placed here to keep them comfortable. You owe no apology for reclaiming what was always yours. Guilt is the tax they charge a man for waking up. This is the moment the story stops being theirs and becomes yours. Power is not loud. It is what remains when you remove the noise. And there is far more noise in your life than you have ever admitted. Each of the next 10 lessons removes one source of that noise. Remove enough, and a strange thing happens. You become unreadable. And the unreadable man is the one they fear. And what cannot be read, cannot be controlled, cannot be predicted, cannot be quietly turned against you. But before the cutting begins, you must meet the man who first spoke these truths. A man so honest about power that they buried his name in warnings. They turned his name into an insult so you would never read him. But you are not most men. You are still here, still watching. So let me introduce you to the most misunderstood mind in history. 500 years ago, in the candlelit chambers of Florence, a man watched princes rise and fall. His name was Niccolo Machiavelli, a diplomat, a thinker, a man stripped of everything. He served the powerful, then was betrayed by them, imprisoned, tortured, discarded, and in exile with nothing left to lose. He wrote down what no one dared say aloud. He revealed how power actually works, not how we pretend it should. For this honesty, they made his very name a curse, whispered as an insult by the same men who feared his clarity. They wanted you to fear his ideas instead of using them to protect yourself. Because a man who understands power cannot easily be used as a tool. Machiavelli did not teach cruelty. He taught clear sight in a deceptive world. He understood that most men are ruled by appearances, never by truth. He wrote one line that explains every powerful man who ever lived. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few feel what you really are." Read it again. Most people will only ever know the surface of you, and the surface is exactly where they reach in to take from you. So you will learn to guard the depths and offer only the surface. This is not deceit. It is the armor every wise man wears. Machiavelli gave us the principle. The 10 eliminations are how you live it. Each one strips away something the world used to reach you, until their hooks find nothing left to hold on to. Time, wealth, habits, health, the 4 pillars they kept you from mastering. Master these 4 and success stops being a chase. It becomes a consequence. But here is the warning Machiavelli would give you, the one that separates the feared from the forgotten. This knowledge changes the way people see you. Some will not survive the change with you. That is the price of becoming ungovernable. Pay it with open eyes. Now the lessons begin. 10 quiet eliminations. Tell no one which one you start with. Begin where it will hurt them most to lose their grip on you. The first thing you eliminate is the slow leak of your hours into nothing. Not the dramatic waste. The small, invisible kind you no longer even notice. A man does not lose his life in a day. He loses it in unguarded minutes. You know the pattern. You wake, and before your mind is yours, you reach for distraction. An hour passes, then another. You have consumed everything and built nothing. By night, you feel the strange ache of a day that simply evaporated. You tell yourself tomorrow will be different. It rarely is. Tomorrow inherits every habit you refuse to kill today. This is the opening scenario of a wasted life, not tragedy, just drift. Why does this happen? Because distraction is engineered to feel like rest. Your mind craves the easy reward and avoids the heavy, meaningful work. Those who profit from your attention know this better than you do. Every minute you drift, someone elsewhere grows richer and stronger, building quietly on the hours you threw away. Starting today, claim the first hour after you wake. It belongs to no one but you. No screens, no noise. 1 hour of silence, intention, and your own thoughts. Then name the 3 habits that leak your time, and starve one of them this week. Guard your hours like gold, because that is exactly what they are. A man who owns his mornings has already begun to own his life. Drop this in the comments. My time is not for sale. The second thing you eliminate is your endless need to be understood. You believe that if people only understood your reasons, they would respect you. So you explain, you justify, you defend choices that needed no defense. You know the moment someone questions you, and your stomach tightens, and you rush to explain what needed no defense. Suddenly you are pleading your case to people who already decided against you. The more you explain, the smaller you become in their eyes, trading away your authority for their fragile approval. And still you do it, again and again, hungry for a nod that never comes. Why does this hunger rule you? Because somewhere you learned approval equals safety. But the moment your peace depends on their approval, they own you completely. The powerful man explains nothing. His silence forces others to wonder. Mystery is authority. Over-explaining is the language of the insecure, the sound a man makes when he fears being doubted. Remember the principle. Few will ever feel what you truly are. Stop trying to make them. Starting today, when challenged, answer once, calmly, and then stop. Let the silence after your words do the rest. No second explanation, no third. Let the silence carry the weight. Practice saying these words, I have made my decision. That is all. Watch how quickly respect returns when you stop begging for it. Your reasons are yours. They were never a debt you owed the world. Drop this in the comments. I owe no one an explanation. The third you eliminate is the open hand that gives to be loved. You confuse generosity with worth. You buy affection you should have commanded for free. You pick up every bill. You lend what is never repaid. You give until you are hollow. You know the feeling. The brief warmth of their thanks, then the quiet drain. And the moment you cannot give, you discover how little they valued you. Why do you do it? Because you fear that without giving, you are not enough. But wealth given to win love is wealth that builds another man's power, not yours. The masters of money understood. Keep your resources hidden and your strength uncertain. A man whose wealth is unknown cannot be measured and cannot be drained. Starting today, stop announcing your generosity. Give rarely, quietly, and only where it builds you. Let your no become as natural as your yes once was. Build a reserve no one knows exists. Quiet wealth is freedom wearing plain clothes. The man who needs to be seen as generous will always be poor in the end. The man who gives only by his own design will never be controlled by his wallet. Your wealth is a pillar of your power. Stop letting strangers carve pieces from it. Master your wealth in silence, and watch how differently the world treats you. Let them wonder what you have. Let them never be certain. Quiet wealth is the second pillar restored. 2 down, keep cutting. The fourth thing you eliminate is the crowd that has moved into your calendar. Look at your days. How many hours truly belong to your own purpose? Someone asks, and you say yes before you have even considered the cost. You know the dread of a week already full of things you never chose. Their emergencies become your emergencies. Their goals devour your time. And your own ambitions die waiting their turn. And at the end you wonder why your own life never advances. Why does this happen? Because you treat your time as public property. An always available man teaches the world that his time has no price. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. You are building a wall, not a weapon. Starting today, let your default answer become, let me check, and I will return to you. Never grant your time in the instant it is demanded. Demand always shrinks when made to wait. Reserve your sharpest hours for your own work before you give the scraps to others. Each protected hour is a brick. Build the wall until your time is finally yours. Some will resent the wall. That resentment is proof it was overdue. The ones who truly value you will respect the gate. The rest only wanted the open door. Time is the third pillar. Guard it, and your whole foundation begins to hold. You are not cruel for protecting your hours. You are finally awake. Drop this in the comments. My calenda is my kingdom. The fifth thing you eliminate is the comfort that quietly costs you everything. Comfort feels like reward. In truth, it is the slow surrender of your edge. You know the trap. One more indulgence, one more delay, one more easy night. Each small comfort whispers that you have earned a little softness. And year by year, the soft man forgets he was ever capable of more. Why does comfort win so easily? Because discomfort is the price of growth, and you fear the bill. Those who sell you comfort profit while your discipline quietly dies. Comfort untouched by discipline is not luxury. It is a slow and pleasant ruin. Starting today, choose one discomfort daily and walk straight into it. Cold water, hard effort, the task you have been avoiding. Meet it on purpose. Replace one rotting habit with one act of strength and repeat it without applause. Comfort chosen after effort is earned. Comfort that replaces effort is a chain. Discipline is simply self-respect made into a habit, repeated so often that weakness no longer recognizes you. The disciplined man cannot be tempted with the cheap comforts that own other men. Your habits are the fourth pillar. Forge them hard, and you become hard to break. No one needs to know your discipline. Let them only see the results. Master your habits in private, and the world will never know how you became unbreakable. 4 pillars restored. The foundation is holding. Now we cut deeper. The 6th thing you eliminate is the urge to announce your plans before they live. You feel the thrill of telling people what you are about to become. But the moment a plan leaves your lips, it stops being only yours. You know the deflation. You shared the dream, and the doubters quietly drained it. Or worse, they smiled, took your idea, and reached the destination before you. Why do you announce? Because the praise for the promise feels like the reward for the work. That early applause tricks your mind into thinking the goal is already won. The powerful move in silence and let the result be the only announcement. Surprise is power. A man whose plans are unknown cannot be opposed in advance. Starting today, speak of your goals to no one who cannot help you reach them. Let your work be loud. Let your mouth stay quiet. Results need no introduction, and silence needs no defense. Keep a private ledger of your ambitions. Share only what is already done. When you finally reveal the finished thing, it will be too late for anyone to stop it. Silence around your plans is not secrecy for its own sake. It is protection. Let the world meet your intentions only as accomplishments, never as plans they had the chance to ruin. The man who builds in silence becomes a story people tell after he has already won. Your future is a fortress. Stop leaving the gates open for tourists and thieves. Drop this in the comments. I am building in silence. The 7th thing you eliminate is the lie that your health can always wait. You trade your body for ambition, certain you will buy it back later. You know the bargain. Skip the rest, skip the meal, push the body one more day. The body keeps a silent ledger, and it never forgives an unpaid debt. One day the body sends its bill, and no amount of success can pay it. Why do you neglect it? Because the body's decline is slow and silent until it is sudden. And a world that needs you productive will gladly let you run yourself into the ground. Hear this plainly. A powerful man with a ruined body is a king without a throne. Your health is the throne. Everything else is just the room around it. Starting today, treat sleep, movement, and real food as sacred appointments you never cancel. Move your body daily. Not for vanity, but to keep the engine of your power running. Guard your rest as fiercely as you guard your gold. Both compound in silence. Refuse the small poisons you reach for, out of habit, the ones that steal your tomorrow. A strong body makes a steady mind, and a steady mind cannot be easily manipulated. Health is the final pillar, and the one all the others stand upon. Build the body in silence, and let your endurance frighten those who hoped you would break. Master your health, and you take back the one throne no one can ever sell. Drop this in the comments. My health is my throne. The 8th thing you eliminate is the reflex to rescue everyone but yourself. You believe that fixing others' lives proves your value and earns their loyalty. You know the cycle. Their crisis appears and you drop your own life to handle it. You solve it, they thank you. And weeks later, the same crisis returns unchanged. Because you did the growing they needed to do for themselves. Why do you rescue? Because being needed feels safer than being respected. But a man who is always needed is a man who is never free. Your rescuing does not build them. It quietly weakens them and exhausts you. Starting today, let others carry the natural weight of their own choices. Offer wisdom once, then step back and let them rise or fall on their own. Save your rescue for the rare soul who acts on what you give them. Pour your saved strength back into the 4 pillars that are finally yours. Detachment is not coldness. It is refusing to drown so that someone else can float. The people who only valued your rescue will leave. Let the door close behind them. What remains will be loyalty built on respect, not on need. You were never meant to be everyone's foundation while standing on nothing. Guard your strength. You will need all of it for what you are becoming. 2 eliminations remain. The hardest 2, the ones that touch your very self. The 9th thing you eliminate is the need to be liked at the cost of your self-respect. You soften your truth. You shrink your edges. You become smaller so others stay comfortable. You know the quiet shame. You agreed when you should have refused, just to keep the peace. Each time you betray yourself for their approval, you respect yourself a little less. And the approval you bought never fills the hole that selling yourself created. Why does their liking rule you? Because you learned to find your worth in their eyes, not your own. But a man whose worth lives in others' opinions has handed them the keys to his soul. Self-respect is the one currency that cannot be borrowed and must never be spent. Starting today, when your truth and their comfort collide, choose your truth. Say the honest no even when your voice shakes. The shaking passes. The self-respect stays. Stop performing for people who would replace you the moment you stop being useful. Become someone you would respect, and let being liked become merely optional. A strange thing follows. The moment you stop chasing approval, the right people draw near. Respect is earned by the man who respects himself first, who refuses to beg for what he can simply become. You will lose the crowd that only liked your weakness. You will not miss them. What you gain is the one relationship that determines all others, the one with yourself. Guard your self-respect above every applause, and you become impossible to buy. Drop this in the comments. I chose me. The 10th thing you eliminate is the performance of busyness that pretends to be progress. You fill every hour with motion so you never have to face whether it matters. You know the comfort of looking busy. It silences the harder question of being effective. At night you are drained, yet you cannot name a single thing that truly advanced. Why do you perform? Because motion feels like worth and stillness feels like failure. But the world rewards results, not the noise of effort. Busyness is the costume of the lost. Starting today, each morning name the one task that would make the rest unnecessary. Do that one thing first, in silence, before the world fills your hours with noise. Measure your days by what was completed, never by how tired you felt. Cut the tasks that only exist to make you appear productive to others. Let your stillness make others nervous. A calm man who builds is more dangerous than a frantic one. True power is not how much you do. It is how little you waste. When you stop performing, you finally have the energy to actually become. 10 thieves named. 10 quiet eliminations begun. The foundation is yours again. Time, wealth, habits, health, no longer leaking, no longer owned by anyone but you. You did not add a single thing to become powerful. You simply stopped bleeding. And a man who has stopped bleeding is a man no one can drain again. Now feel what rises in you. That is not arrogance. That is the man they tried to bury, standing up inside you at last.